Morning, Miss Sukers.
Good morning. Good morning, Sisi. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I called you to check, must I share the screen? You will fly to the presentation on your site, or must we
No,
do it for you?
please, if you can do it for me, I would appreciate it. Yes.
I can't hear you.
I would appreciate it
All right, thank you.
if you can flight it for me. Yes. Can you
All
hear
right.
me now, Sis Nozipo?
Yes, I heard you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
I just have load shedding at the moment. The connectivity may just be very poor.
That's my concern too. I'm low chatted till 10:30.
Yes. So I
Yes.
think I'll just switch on the video for the first part and then switch it off when I'm starting to speak.
All right. Okay.
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 Good morning.
Morning, Honorable Person, and morning to everybody in the platform.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning, Bason.
Morning, Chair.
Morning, Chair. Morning, members.
Môre Tarina.
Morning, Chair. Morning, members.
Morning, Minister.
Morning, Leon.
How are you, Uncle Leon?
I'm fine, thank you. And you, Minister?
No, what do you?
Yeah.
But it is cold in Cape Town.
I wish my brother you could be back in Gauteng, my friend. It's nice and warm.
We are demanded to be in Parliament, so we need to be in Parliament.
We said we are available, Chair.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm sure we do have a quorum, Nosipo. Nosipo, where are you? No, but Nosipo, we can't afford this thing that every now and then when we're at the meeting, we are not available on to talk to us. Of staff of Parliament, where are you?
Good morning, Chairperson. I'm here. I think Nosipo is being load shed at that side, but she's going to come back again now.
No, but it can't be. She must be prepared for the meeting. Last week she was not in the meeting. You are now giving the same excuse today. It can't be. It can't be. She should be at work.
Chairperson,
Yeah. Talk to us. Do we have a quorum?
yes, we do have a quorum, Chairperson.
But why are you not responding to the
It's the network, Chairperson. I was kicked out of the meeting. I'm load shedded.
I'm also not shedded in Cape Town.
Sizobona ke uzogcina meeting.
Okay. If we do have a quorum, the agenda is before us. Let us observe a moment of silence for meditation and or prayer as I welcome everybody to the meeting. Thank you very much. The meeting is duly opened. I know that we are all ready for the meeting. Let us start. Those of us who must travel to Parliament from the residence, we need to be on the bus or in the bus by 12:30. If we can try to make up for that time, that we be allowed to be on time for the buses. Otherwise, we are going to be participating in the meeting whilst in the bus. It is unprofessional. Let's try to be proactive and think beyond that particular time. Thank you very much. Any apologies?
Chairperson, I've got an apology of Honorable Myberg. He had to go urgently to a dentist this morning. He couldn't get another appointment because he's going overseas over the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The meeting is duly opened. I know that we all ready for the meeting. Let us start. Those of us who must travel to Parliament from the residence, we need to be on the bus or in the bus by 12:30. If we can try to make up for that time, that we be allowed to be on time for the buses. Otherwise, we are going to be participating in the meeting whilst in the bus. It is unprofessional. Let's try to be proactive and think beyond that particular time. Thank you very much. Any apologies?
Chairperson,
Nosipo?
I did not receive any apology, Chairperson.
Honorable Basson, we are also on this. I'm sure it is the first same trip that we're supposed to be, or the oversight trip. I have seen a letter from the chairperson, the chair of chairs, which dictate that we must postpone the trip to a later date, given the fact that we are having a meeting of Parliament on the 11th, which is a physical sitting. I'm not sure whether Mr. Member did not receive that information, but the day and the date has been shifted to another date. We will still communicate with the people who are supposed to go, but it is no longer going to be the 9th. It's another date, but the very same delegation still can go at a later date, not on the 9th as envisaged.
Well, when he spoke to me, he was not aware of that, Chairperson.
Yeah, I know. I also received it yesterday. My apologies. I think we must just apologize for him not having been taken on board early. I also received it just yesterday. Okay. It being the case, welcome, Deputy Minister Mahlobo. I'm not sure whether the minister is here. And I've seen Dr. Phillips is here, the DG. We are on your hands. We are on item 4.
Nami ngikhona, Chairperson.
Who is that? Deputy Minister Shabalala.
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you very much.
Chairperson.
Yes.
Ke be ke kgopela go botsisa ke Honorable Mashala regarding the trip to China, as you just opened a platform to speak about it. So ke be ke batla go check ore ana process ya di logistics e be shetse tla ko kae if they cancel this trip. Is the department or either the government itself not incurring charges, maybe extra cost with regards to this? Because the 9th, the day to leave was just about around the corner. So I want to check the extra cost, if there's any extra cost with regards to that or not. Thank you.
Yeah, rather than it being the question, I think let's put it as a process. That in the process of it, I've seen even that question is posed on us by the office of the chair of chairs. In answering it, I think we must also answer you on that particular score. If there are costs, what are the implications and so forth and so on? It will come back to us. But that question we must answer from the office of ourselves and office of the chair of chairs to the speaker. So that question is being asked properly as you're asking it. Answers will come. The Minister Mkunu or Deputy Minister Mahlobo or Minister Shabalala, I don't know who's leading. We're on your hands.
No, thank you very much, Your Excellency Chairperson and members, DM Shabalala. And we apologize on behalf of Minister because we'll be joining the CAP committee now because of these other issues that we must push. We are here, Chairperson, to respond to the petitions that have been referred to the Office of the Speaker and the work that you do as a leadership of the people's representative on these issues. And we have circulated our response as a department. The team is led by Dr. Sean Phillips. And Dr. Phillips, with your permission, Chairperson, would want him to present our response to these issues that were raised. And with your guidance, then the two deputy ministers will be able to take the responses when it's time to respond. supported by the team, but we'll want to request the portfolio committee through you to allow our DG to make the presentation. Thank you, Chair.
Dr. Phillips? DG?
I don't see him on here.
So whoever is mandated to do, let him do.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Chairperson. We'll start with, we'll ask the provincial head for Northwest Chadwick or the provincial head for Northern Cape to respond on our behalf, because it affects those two provinces.
I missed you, Deputy Minister Mashabo. I missed what you said.
No, I'm saying we also have our provincial heads, Chair, where the two petitions are arising, and we are going to request them to make the presentation on behalf of the DG, because I don't see me on the screen, and I think he might have joined the minister on the other issue of the cluster. No?
Or we might do it the other way around. Remember, the petitioners themselves are also here. They were supposed to present their view. Maybe we can start with them.
No, it's fine. Leadership, with your guidance, they can start it, and we'll be in a position to respond.
Yeah, petitioners, are you here?
Good morning, Chair. Yes, I am.
Let us give you the platform to present, because it was going to be even better that you start that as and when the minister, the minister responds, it should be speaking to what you have presented. I'm sure it's a very good chronological order. Let's do that.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you, to the committee members, to the deputy ministers, department staff, and parliamentary staff. Please excuse me for not turning on my camera. Unfortunately, I've also got load shedding. On behalf of the residents of Rustenburg, I would like to thank you for accepting their petition and giving me this chance to speak. And bringing this petition to you is a heavy responsibility for me. These residents are not merely residents or ratepayers or statistics. They are fathers and mothers going deep underground with dirty overalls that they could not wash because there's no water.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am. If you may just introduce yourself officially and so forth and so on, it would be better.
Apologies, Chair. My name is C Phillips. I am a member of the National Assembly, and I am also a resident of Rustenburg, and Rustenburg is my constituency. May I proceed with the presentation?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'd just like to go back to these residents are not merely residents or ratepayers or statistics. They are fathers and mothers who go deep underground with dirty overalls that they could not wash because there is no water. To put food on the table and pay a house bond that increases every time the interest rates go up. They are daughters who cannot wash their frail gogos when they change their nappies. There are mothers who are desperate for water to boil to make bottles for their babies. And there are young girls who cannot wash when they have their periods. They are our people, and they need our help. Rustenburg is a town in crisis. It has had no municipal manager for 12 months. Every director is acting, and the residents and the businesses suffer. The water shortage has been a recurring problem in the town for more than 10 years. Occasionally, there's one step forward, but in a few weeks or months, we have 2 steps back. In 2015, Rustenburg was the fastest growing town in the country, but the infrastructure and the water supply never gave up. Today, Rustenburg has a reputation of being one of the most dangerous towns in the country and one of the towns with the highest unemployment rates. And selling a house or renting one out in an area supplied by the Shlabani Upper Industrial Reservoir System is next to impossible. Big businesses such as RCL Foods are considering leaving Rustenburg, and this will increase our unemployment figures by about 30,000 people. Our town cannot afford this. The water problem in the northern and northern eastern parts is not due to a lack of storage, but it's due to a lack of supply of treated water and due to the constant bursting pipes, 70% of which are still old asbestos pipes. Instead of addressing the supply shortage to Rustenburg, a brand new 30 megaliter reservoir has been built and a new pipeline is being installed. It's a beautiful reservoir, but with a project to increase the output from Valkop only expected to be completed in 2028, this big, beautiful reservoir is not going to solve our water crisis. While the existing reservoir, the Shlabani Upper Reservoir next to it, does not get supplied with enough water to keep it at least 50% or more in a 24-hour period, without closing the reservoirs of the outlets. Shlabani Upper supplies. I would like to read you the reports, just from a 24-hour period from Rustenburg, from the residents. Sunday, the 3rd of August, 7:07, residents report still no water. From RLM at 8 a.m. RLM is Rustenburg Local Municipality. Magalies Bosput scheme closed due to low levels. Residents report still no water at 19:16, 20:31, and 20:55. Monday morning, the 4th of September, residents report still no water at 0:55:56, 06:34, and 06:50. Water reported returning at 08:57. Residents report no water again at 12:21. That is less than 3.5 hours of water for the day. And this is a perfect example of what we are experiencing in Rustenburg every single day in the areas supplied by the Shlabani West Industrial Reservoir System. The system is controlled manually, with the inlets and outlets being opened and closed by understaffed, under-equipped teams. The pumps are switched on and off by the same teams. In the past 8 months, residents have gone without water for up to 18 days 3 times, due to no less than 5 pumps and 5 motors having to be replaced or repaired 7 times. Water pumps should have a much longer life. There are no pumps or motors available, and when there is a breakdown, we need to buy a new pump or we need to buy suppliers. Our suppliers are reluctant to help us because many of them have not been paid for any of the previous work. Treatment works went for an added 12 megaliters a day, went from 12 to 6, and then the project stalled completely when questions about the tender were asked. The infamous company C, in addition to this, Magalies Water do not have an extra pump available at Valkop. Their pumps are huge, and when one breaks, it can't just be replaced. Residents without water for 3 to 5 days at a time. The Bosput Reservoir has been leaking for months. The report I received, which is not confirmed, but says that the loss is more than 5 megaliters per day. We cannot afford to lose 5 megaliters per day when our residents don't have any water. The Rustenburg Water Unit operates with 1 TLB and 6 cars to manage 1,286 kilometers of pipeline. The unit also does not have the materials needed. Rustenburg has been visited by the Minister and the Deputy Minister, and we've had many promises made by many people. Desperate residents have written letters to newspapers, and they have supported this water petition that was delivered to you and hand-signed by all these residents was done in a few days. But residents are still experiencing water outages. This is on the day when they are lucky enough to get any water at all. Our residents now need help, and that's why I implore the committee and the department to help us. We don't need more promises. We need your help to get qualified, well-trained people on the ground with the equipment, the vehicles, and the spares that they need to repair burst pipes and to replace the old pipes. We need government's intervention to ensure that supplies are paid and that the spares are available. The leak at the Bosport Reservoir needs to be repaired before we lose more of our precious water. The Hawks investigation needs to be concluded and the fruitless and wasteful expenditure recovered from those responsible to enable the upgrade project to go ahead. Our town needs a fully automated telemetry system to manage the water balance. Chair and committee, my plea to you today is honor our people, honor our residents, and help them to get the water they so desperately need. These residents are not wealthy residents. They are working hard just to put a roof over their heads. They don't have money to sink boreholes or install JoJo tanks and pumps. They need to be supplied with a basic human right of water when they need it. I thank you so much for allowing me to make this presentation to you, and I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Under normal circumstances, Minister Mahlobo, and I'm not sure what, maybe I might have missed what the agenda is saying. Indeed, the DG is correct not to be responding now because he was not necessarily supposed to come and present. If you are, even yourselves, if you are here, it could have been that we were coming to listen to the presentations, and we engage the presentations. If indeed you need to respond to the petition, because the petition is not sent to you in advance, so the DG might not have answers to the questions as raised by the petitioners. But we might engage as the portfolio committee members on the presentation as said, and if where we think we need answers from the department, we'll pack that and send it to the department for responses and take it from there. And I have seen DG, you were talking to me about something else. I just did not read the information properly before I opened it.
We are correct, Chairperson.
Yeah.
We are correct.
Okay. So
We'll
I've
be
seen the
guided
DG
by you.
writing something. Can you hear what was saying?
I'm saying, Chair, we are correct that your understanding is that we will come just listen. The portfolio committee as an internal matter will look at it. And if there is any referral to ourselves, we'll be able to come in and deal with it to respond to those petitions. But also in the meantime, my presence and DM Shabalala were just listening. Even whether we have written to us or not, we should be in a position to follow through those issues. But the portfolio committee will formally send these matters to us for our response and intervention. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks. I'm just wanting to clear the point that you might not have a view that the DG might have undermined the portfolio committee because indeed he was not supposed to, he was not compelled to be here, given the nature of the meeting. Let me hear from you members. There is a presentation from the and we need to take the presentation by the Honorable Phillips as a petitioner rather than being a member of the parliament. I want to see hands in engaging the input. Honorable Basson, Honorable Mushala.
Thank you very much.
Matuba.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I can concur with Honorable Phillips, that Rustenburg, that is a big town, really struggles with water. They've got 2 suppliers of water, but it seems that, not even that could assist that Rustenburg. And therefore, Chairperson, I really think that this should be sent to the department, and the department should come back to us with a plan of action that how they will deal with this matter to bring an end to the water crisis that is constantly on a daily basis in Rustenburg occurring. And unfortunately, Chair, I must say that I think in most towns and cities in South Africa that experience exactly the same that Rustenburg is experiencing. But let's deal now with Rustenburg and then ask the department to come in back to us in a very short time on how they will rectify this problem of the Rustenburg water crisis. Thank you.
Honorable Mhlala.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. I'm struggling a little bit with network. I don't know if Honorable Matuba is able to come in before I can come. Chair? Yeah, please
can you
allow.
Continue, Honorable Mhlala?
Can you please allow Honorable Matuba to come? I'm a little bit challenged where I am now, more especially with network. I want to get the correct spot before I can come in. Please allow Honorable Matuba.
But you are very clear, Mhlala. You okay. Honorable Matuba.
She will forfeit her right to speak, Chair, if she does this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to members of the Portfolio Committee. Chair, we noted the report as a Portfolio Committee and wish to say that I agree with the suggestion by yourself, Chair, and which was then seconded by the Deputy Minister and also Honorable Basson, that we take the report to the department itself. However, Chair, in doing so, I think it will be better for us to have a time frame saying that at least by this particular time, we should have submitted to the department and department should have been responded to us. I think, Chair, it's an unfortunate situation and also warrants us as members of the Portfolio Committee to really speed up the process of doing our oversight in those particular affected municipalities. I can see that in terms of the agenda also, we spoke about the two municipalities, which is Rustenburg and also of the Northern Cape. But also I know for the fact that there is another petition with regards to one of the municipalities in KZN. However, Chair, I think it is within our best interest to fast-track these processes as the Portfolio Committee, and we truly sympathize with those ones that are being affected by the watershedding. And I know that it's a commitment from the department to address each and every issue. And I know that if we are to deal with this matter, our department will respond appropriately to what needs to be done. And also, Chair, maybe during that time when we discuss, we'll be able to submit our inputs in terms of what needs to be done going forward, because this is an agency of what needs to be done going forward. During that time when we have responses from the department, we'll also advise on our own capacities as members of the Portfolio Committee to ensure that a solution, a permanent or sustainable solution is found in dealing with these challenges. That will be my submission, Chair. Thank you very much.
Can we get the Honorable Moore before Honorable Mhlala?
Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning, colleagues, Deputy Ministers and members of the Department. And thank you, Honourable Phillips, for bringing this to the attention. I think, Chair, just to highlight that, obviously, as we're all aware, this isn't a once-off situation. There are water challenges across South Africa. I know we're dealing with them not just in the petitions we're facing, but in questions that are coming to Parliament in a variety of situations. But I think at some level, Parliament can play a very critical role in assisting, because in this example of Rustenburg, we're looking at an area that is supplied by 3 different water authorities. And sadly, the reality is on the ground, often where there's differing entities with similar responsibilities, they can try and stick in their silos, they can try and avoid responsibility. And I think Parliament has the leverage and the authority to really step in and assist with situations like this. And Rustenburg is a critical city. It's not a small item in South Africa's list of responsibilities. And I think this could be a really great example of having a look at how we can, via the department, really assist to bring all the parties together to ensure that the citizens of Rustenburg receive their basic rights, and we can turn around this situation for a community of hundreds of thousands of South Africans. Thank you.
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. Let me start by highlighting that the issue of water is very broad. It is a crisis that is affecting everyone in the entire country, not only Rustenburg, but I'm going to come to the issue of Rustenburg as well. It's everywhere. If I can speak to these people or encourage everyone in each and every platform, I will encourage all citizens from different provinces to write petition to the government about the situation they are facing in the entire country, South Africa. So it started way back. It is not start now. It started way back before even 1994, where our poor Black people did not have water. It was a crisis, only the few have water. Post 1994, we thought things will be proper. Things are still like that under the government of the Black government. But my question, Chairperson, is why does MA's table staff refer this petition to the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation when it actually falls within the purview of the work of the Portfolio Committee of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs? Normally, when we were dealing with these issues of petition in the previous financial years, we normally called a joint meeting. I don't understand why we do not call a joint meeting. Because it's the municipalities that are failing us. It's the municipalities that are not doing their work. The department is sending money through RBIC and WISIC to the municipalities. The municipalities are not doing their work. There's no water. It's the municipalities that are failing us. I don't say the Department of Water is not failing us, but the municipalities must also come here and account. We cannot just be talking amongst ourselves when they are not here. They are the people that must provide water to the people, and they are not exactly doing that. The other thing, Chairperson, the issues outlined in the petition clearly reflect the broader weaknesses in intergovernmental relations. The district development model offered an opportunity for different departments to work together. Why is there no progress report on the challenges and successes faced in implementing the district development model? The petitions once again reveal the corruption within the municipalities, whereby grants such as regional bulk infrastructure grant and water service grant is utilized for other issues with total disregard and impunity towards the dispersing departments. Should National Treasury not put system in place to cap this total disregard for use of public funds with no tangible outcome? I would like to pause there, Chairperson, but let me just pause there. The issue of water is everywhere. We are suffering. People doesn't have water. Even where I stay, there's no water. This government, under the ANC government, is failing our people dismally. Hence, I don't even get surprised when we see this petition coming from Rustenburg. But I just want to alert the people of Rustenburg and the people of Northern Cape, because I saw the other one of Warrenton, that is everywhere across the country. People of South Africa doesn't have water. This government have no respect to the people at large. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we must deal with these issues as they speak to the society without labeling it politically to any other party. Unfortunately, this is elections time. People will want to politic where politics is not necessary. The fact of the matter is that people of Rustenburg and all other places in the country, there are crises of water, but it is not going to be correct to paint everything as blank as if there is no water in the country. There is water in the country, of course. There is shortages there and there, and more especially, and as Honorable Mkhala is raising, not even Coxta in this case, municipalities, because even in the presentation by Honorable Phillips, it is not that there is a shortage of water in Rustenburg and the other areas. It is that there is a shortage of supply of water. Even where you have got bulk water stored in the reservoirs, but the people does not receive water because the municipalities does not have capacity to reticulate water onto the stands and people's houses. And therefore, the people are suffering in terms of water accessing and so forth and so on. And I think it is correct that Honorable Mkhala is proposing that maybe we need to have a joint approach on these issues because, indeed, Coxta is the one that deals with municipalities. But the supply of water, we as the Department of Water and Sanitation are actually supposed to or accountable to supplying bulk water into the reservoirs. As from the reservoirs to the users, it is no longer the Department of Water and Sanitation, but it is now municipalities, which falls under the Department of Coxta. And I think we really need to separate the two in our approach, but still be strong. That we do not want to put water. It is not the good thing for us to just put water into the reservoir and tanks, and then believe that that water is enough for the people, when in actual fact, the people themselves shall not receive that particular water. I do not get a sense that there is another hand that is coming, but everybody else agree that indeed, Honorable Phillips, I doubt that there is something you want to answer, but you might want to make a follow-up into what the people are saying. But the petition is understood, and the Department of Water and Sanitation shall be sent. And I did ask that you give us a written document on what we're saying, because we need to give it to the Department of Water and Sanitation and the Department of Coxta for them to respond. Upon their response, we must revert back to you because the petition is to us. We must communicate to you. So if you can send us that presentation, and we take that presentation to the Department of Water and Sanitation and also to Coxta and demand that a joint meeting shall be called where those responses shall be given. But I'm sure you were listening to the members of Parliament. If you want to say something out of it, you can, and give us a way forward in your thinking and see whether we don't agree with you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm very happy with the suggestions. I will let you have a copy of the presentation that I made to you, but I would like to emphasize again that it is not just a problem of distribution. It's actually a problem of there is no water in the supply reservoirs on a regular basis. So the supply is definitely a problem. But I'm very happy for it to go to Coxta as well, and I would love them to also help to solve this problem. So thank you once again to everybody. I really appreciate the fact that you gave us a hearing and that you're prepared to help us.
Thank you very much. Any other person want to say anything before we go past the item? None. Upon us receiving the document from you, Honorable Phillips will do that and will communicate to the two departments. And I take note of the fact that you are saying, even though the reservoirs sometimes have water, but the consistency and the continuity of the water onto the reservoirs is also a challenge, meaning that indeed the Department of Water and Sanitation have a responsibility to answer on the frequency of the water availability to those particular areas. And I think we'll emphasize that point in presenting the document. Thank you very much, Honorable Phillips. If you are a member of society today because you are a petitioner, if you are now welcome to can leave if you want, but if you want to sit and continue listening, these meetings are public consumptions. You can continue sitting. Let's get into the second item. Let's get into the second item, Nosipo.
Ms. Sukers is on the platform to present e-petition, yes, Warrenton.
Okay. Ms. Sukers, on the Warrenton petition.
Good morning, Chair.
Yeah.
Good morning, Chair. I thank you for the opportunity and to the committee, and welcome. Good morning as well to my community members in Warrenton. Shall I continue, Chair?
Yes, the platform is yours. How many people have you brought?
Chair, am I audible?
You are, Mr. Sukers. Continue. I was asking.
I am unsure how many people are on. They are virtually on the platform, community leaders.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome, community leaders. Be part of the meeting.
The community of Warrenton are on the platform. Yes, Chair.
I was just welcoming them into the platform. Thank you very much. On their behalf, you shall speak.
Yes, Chair. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm going to switch off my video due to the load shedding. My internet connection may just be poor. So I just say good morning, and so that the committee would see my face. But I will switch off with your indulgence. Thank you.
Agreed.
The water crisis in Magareng municipality period of 7 months, and the petition that is before this committee today. The petition that is before this committee today follows complaints June. In late May, and in June, I had an oversight visit to the area, to both the provincial and national departments, and the response that we received was from one response that we received, 2 responses, but the most responsive was the deputy minister that is now on the platform today. The oversight visit, I must add to this committee, what was extremely concerning was the response by the municipality on the oversight visit. I was prevented from entering the project that you will see now as part of this presentation. The worker that was on site prevented me during that oversight visit. So that is the background. We are asking. We can move to the next slide. What the people of Warrenton is asking of this is for Parliament to hold accountable departments and to ensure the basic right of the people of Warrenton to access of water and basic sanitation services for the delayed water supply to the area following the floods, and for oversight on the delayed water and sanitation project, the municipality to address technical capacity deficits. In addition to that, we asking, the community is asking for a forensic audit report on procurement and spend to the present for this presentation and for the petition. We can move to the next slide. While she is moving to the next slide, I just need to highlight some of the implications, but I think I will move to that, the negative impact that it has had, especially on the poor and vulnerable, in the next slide. When you look at Warrenton, many of our people, maybe our committee members, if you go to Warrenton, one of the things that stands out is that you have a community with a very unique character, very resilient, and very proud of the heritage of their town. They refer to it as onze dorp, whether it does, regardless of culture, language, or people have a pride in the town. It is located geographically very strategic for economic development because of the access, the national roads that you can have access to through it. But this area has had chronic service delivery failures, specifically as it relates to water and sanitation. And this contributes to the snail pace of development, especially job creation, and the optimization of its location cannot happen in terms of hospitality because of these issues around water and sanitation. Poor political leadership has resulted in a total breakdown of trust between the residents and the municipality. And this point I am highlighting for us, especially as members of Parliament. One of the things that was very sad to hear in both Warrenvale and in Ikutseng is our people saying, I am not voting in the next election. There is no point in voting. And this community is made up of activists that has implored really the municipality through various means to deliver on their promise, and to see people, our people, standing on streets and saying that they will not, with cans of water, with no trucks arriving, hearing them say that they are not voting it was a very sad moment for me, because I am of the generation, the last generation that marched on Parliament for the right to vote. One of the things that was also very sad, and when the committee goes into these areas, is how many people has the refrain to say they don't care about us. No one cares about us. And it is for this committee and for Parliament to respond in a way that our people will know that there is a conscience for care and for constitutional obligation and duty. And it is for this Parliament, this sixth Parliament in the last months coming before the next election, for us to show that we take our obligation serious in that regard. You can move to the next slide. The water and sanitation problems in the municipality, I must highlight to the committee, is historic. Sewage and water supply challenges existed since 2018. On the oversight visit that day, community members came out to show me that there were areas that has not received water for years. Other areas where sewage spillage has gone into the gardens, into the streets, it's a reality that people live with. There is a water treatment upgrade project that was initiated in 2018. The completion date was set for June of 2021. The funding allocation was for 90 million, and it was this project that I went to go and see. It is still incomplete and at a standstill. The estimated to date approximately, according to the contractor that I met that day, no one on site, And I was stopped at the gate. And after the contractor arrived with no workers on site, he mentioned that 94 million, according to him, was allocated for this. And as you will see in the last pictures, it is a total white elephant. The people of Warrenton refers to it as their white elephant. The bulk water supply pipeline to the value of 18 million, completion date was also set for 2021. It is still incomplete. The new internal water reticulation project funding for 22.8 million is still under construction. And because of these projects that were under construction and not completed, when the waters came down on the Vaal, it had such significant damage to the infrastructure that the water supply was cut off in Warrenton. And that water supply was cut off for 7 months. And it should be noted by the committee that the water was restored in part, I should say, a week ago. It was restored. And I just want to go back to the upgrade and the refurbishment so that the committee has an insight into what the capacity of this projects were and would have such a huge effect on the water supply. The first one, the water treatment upgrade, the waterworks, it was to increase and respond to water demands. It was, I'm speaking specifically now of the 90 million allocation that was for the waterwork upgrade. The plant is under construction, as I said, since 2018, but it was to add new processing units and to extend the capacity from 9 to 12 per day and milliliter per day. And the funding came from the regional bulk infrastructure grant. The bulk water supply pipeline, the project entailed a 630 millimeter of PVC pipes and 600 millimeter steel pipes on the low bridge across the Vaal River. And this pipe is also still under construction and should have been finished and connected to the new refurbished water treatment plant in 2021. And the funding allocation, as on the presentation, was 18 million. And then in addition to that, the new internal water reticulation was for Rabaki and Sonderwater and Dichos-Chwaneng. This project entailed construction of a new reticulation system, laying of 12.84 kilometers of pipes, connecting 1,295 urban in the area. The project, as I said on the presentation, is for 22.8 million. So when you look at all of this, and in addition to this, look at the municipal report, that clearly shows that the infrastructure of the water infrastructure or infrastructure in the municipality is way past its design life. Then you realize when the waters came down, we already had a current challenge with capacity issues, with infrastructure and operational management, operational maintenance management due to technical capacity, lack of technical capacity. And so all of this together gave you the perfect storm that this community was without water for 7 months. And the water has been restored. I haven't put the videos on, but what we do have now is significant leakage and ongoing interruptions. So for parts of the day, parts of the community still do not have water due to some damage due to the fiber line, the laying of fiber in the area. You can move to the next slide. The water tankering allocation for the 7-month period was just under 2 million. It was inconsistent due to truck breakdowns, and this was shown in the municipal manager's report. Political favoritism in water distribution. It's also one of the saddest things to hear, that people are saying that unless you are politically connected or you're working in the municipality, you are put down the line in terms of receiving water. There were days where people went without water. And so you had a water business that started in the midst of this challenge, with community members having to buy water per liter. And what it also forced, especially the poor and the vulnerable, to do is for them to go to the river to get water. And during the period when the oversight happened, 3 weeks before that, a mother and daughter walked across the N12 to go and get water in a different area, and the child was hit by a motor vehicle with the side of her face hurt, and people waiting for water the whole day. And that time of when the sun was setting, crossing this national road to go and get water. The municipality made a promise that the interim restoration of the pipeline, there were 2 projects. The one is the permanent pipeline fixture as per the presentation. And then there was a response to say that there's an allocation, and the department must respond to the committee in terms of that allocation that was made for an interim pipeline. And that was due to be completed within 14 days. It was to be completed in May. Then another date was set for June, and the delay went on for months with no explanation to the community. And I've made a funding allocation a question mark there because the department needs to respond in terms of those numbers to the committee. You can move to the next slide. The concerns of this community, and as I said, one of the key things that was very concerning and that demanded a quick response, and why I directly spoke to the ministry, was because there was always the undercurrent of social unrest in Warrenton because of the problems that are mentioned here, the concerns of the community, the lack of transparency in terms of procurement and contract management. We, during the oversight, and I've had 3 oversights to Warrenton, what was very clear is work kept on being interrupted, with many times people no workers on site. And even the municipal manager, I have pictures on my phone of the municipal manager himself in desperation going into the water to work themselves on trying to restore the water. The lack of implementation of audit plans and corrective measures, it's chronic, it's year on year. The incomplete projects that impede service delivery to communities of Magareng, the lack of technical capacity and expertise that results in poor operational maintenance, and the infrastructure past design lifespan is the causation of flood damage to water supply. You can move to the next slide. The questions that the community has are these: what has happened to the funding of the water treatment plant upgrade, and when will it be completed? What has happened to the funding of the pipeline to connect Ikucheng households to water supply? What is the full breakdown of cost for the emergency water distribution over the 7-month period, including the interim pipeline project to restore water supply? What has been the cause of the delay in completing work on the interim and permanent pipelines to restore water supply? And how many contractors worked on the projects? Oversight by both Water and Sanitation and Kochta to visit the municipality to improve accountability. What we have in front of us here are the incomplete projects. This pictures on here is the 90 million water treatment plant upgrade that is still standing, and nothing is happening in terms of this. It is the plea of the people of Warrenton to this committee for Parliament to respond, and what is most important, that accountability through a forensic audit report be made available on all the projects as per the presentation. As I said, the water supply has been restored in part. There are other significant damages because of the delay in or the months without water. The infrastructure, the pipes are basically breaking. And so you have a lot of spillage of water, precious water going to waste. And for this committee, I lastly want to put in your mind the following. When you have cancer patients telling you that they are skin cancer patients telling you that they are unable to bath and that they have a problem, their condition is deteriorating because of the quality of water and because of the poor supply of water, then you know that in a democratic country, our country, 30 years, we are into this democracy. We are failing our people. And it is for us here in Parliament to demand accountability from the officialdom that is responsible and the political leadership that is responsible to ensure that those services are rendered. This community has exhausted every option. They have had a court interdict against them. They have laid complaints with the Human Rights Commission. The Human Rights Commission visited the area 3 weeks ago. No municipality to meet them. And our Chapter 9 institutions cannot be disrespected in that manner by a municipality. And neither can our people be disrespected and not provided their basic rights to water. And it is our responsibility to hold the department accountable for that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sukers. Mrs. Sukers. Is it Mrs. or Miss?
It's Mrs. Sukers.
Miss Sukers. Thanks. Okay. Mrs. Sukers, thank you very much. And I think the presentation is very clear and it is talking to the issues. I want to invite hands for people that need the clarity and so forth and so on. The hand of Mr. Hanif Hendricks. Thus far, that hand. Okay. There is the hand of Hanif Hendricks, is the Honorable Stephen Moore, Honorable Muthala. Honorable Hendricks.
Thank you.
A minute. Who is that?
It's okay. Can you recognize me? I don't know. I'm using the other device, Chair. I don't know what is the problem with it. But can you recognize me?
Okay. Honorable Hendricks, Honorable Moore, Honorable Muthala, and finally Honorable Seke.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, thank you for recognizing me. Honorable Chair, I just want to make a disclosure that I've got a historic link to Warrenton. My grandfather worked there as a bookkeeper, and many of my aunts were born there. And that's why I was moved by the presentation of Mrs. Sukers. And I would like to thank her for bringing to the attention of the plight of the residents of Warrenton and the many surrounding areas. It also brought back happy memories as I used to play with my grandfather until he died when I was 9 years old. But coming back to the issues, Mr. Chairman, I'm also looking forward to your response to the petition. And I want to hear your response because I'm going to use your response this afternoon when I have an opportunity to address the President on a parliamentary question on the 3 tiers of government. And I want to tell him what is your position on whether the powers given to municipalities with regard to water and sanitation should be revoked and that national government should take full responsibility for it, because on previous occasions you heard that nearly every municipality in the country is failing its residents. My parliamentary constituency office, we have 50 water structures in 50 villages, and their problems are even worse than Warrenton's problems. So I'm just worried that the legacy that this committee will leave behind as we move to the 7th Parliament will not be very impressive. It will be impressive, Honourable Chair, if you give leadership and, for example, say the following things. I don't want to write your speech when you respond to this, but I need you to say, number one, that the Constitution needs to be changed from access to water to a right to water. And then secondly, a clear message from you that municipalities have failed. We're flogging a dead horse. We know about the corruption and the disciplinary hearings and the thousands of other cases that has resulted in this situation. And we need the support of the chair that no, look, national government must take away the responsibilities, the obligations and the funding we give to provinces and the funding that we give to municipalities, and that we once and for all implement the amendment to the Constitution that people have a right to water. Once there's a constitutional right, then government and treasury will obviously have to come to the party and see that every person in South Africa has a right to water, and people are dying of thirst. And we've heard about the people now with the cancer. They are dying of thirst because there's no water. And so I look forward to, Honourable Chair, to your response to this petition. And we feel that the least that this committee can do is to put as much pressure as possible to ensure that the plea of the petitioner and her supporters is met before we go to the 7th Parliament. Thank you very much.
Honourable Moore.
Thank you, Chairperson, and particularly thank you to Mrs. Sukers for bringing this issue to Mrs. Sukers, sorry, for bringing this to our attention. Chair, two things here. One, it would be really great if we could receive the presentation that was done by the petitioner, just because it includes details that then we can go do in terms of our own oversight and checking things. And a second thing, there seems to be a theme around these petitions is there's very much a mix of both the Department of Water and Sanitation as well as COGTA. And I think we're all aware that, you know, there's going to be a blurred line when we deal with these type of issues of who's got the right responsibility. But potentially we need to set up, rather than inviting occasionally with COGTA, we need to look carefully at petitions and ensure our starting point includes both departments, so that we can handle this in a unified manner, as these won't be the only petitions we handle. And I think we need to work together with the different levels to ensure that we can start turning around this situation. Thank you, Chair.
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. Let me also join members in thanking Mrs. Sukers for bringing this petition to our attention. I also want to say that I went to Warrenton. I also did oversight. It's just that I did not send petitions and all those things, but we did it as the economic freedom fighters, because I always say that we are the one that are on the ground and we are the one that are doing the evaluation and the monitoring at all the times. I went there, Chairperson. If I remember very well, I even phoned the DG of Water and Sanitation, Mr. Phillips, to say that there's a crisis in Warrenton. There's a very serious crisis. We need to attend to it. I further received a call from the MM of Warrenton, who informed us that the water crisis, there's no water crisis anymore. Everything is being sorted. But still we are there in Warrenton, and we can see that there's no water for accessibility of water to our people. Chairperson, I support the previous speaker, and as I initially also stated, I'm suggesting that you write to the Parliament National Assembly table staff to alert them to send this kind of petitions to correct portfolio committees. Because now we're going to waste time here. We're going to waste time. We're still coming back. We're wasting the times of the people out there. We should have started with water and sanitation and COGTA at the same time, so that we can sort this thing once and for all. Because I don't know when is that joint meeting gonna happen. People outside there, they are dying. There's no water, they are sick. The issue of sewage spillage as well, Chairperson, I raised it even with the department as well, of Warrenton is a crisis. People are working on raw water, sewage spillages. So it is embarrassing when they say to you, you are sitting in the Department of Water and Sanitation. We are having this problem. As much as we know that the problem is everywhere, the whole country, South Africa at large, the water systems have collapsed. The wastewater systems have collapsed. Everything have collapsed under this state. But let's try by all means, Chairperson, and do something for our people. There will be sicknesses around. People are going to die as they died in Hammanskraal of cholera. So let's make sure that we kept all those things before we are declared a very serious crisis. Actually, the Water and Sanitation Department is in crisis. It must be declared by the state to say that we are in a very in crisis now. Thank you so much, Chairperson. I end there. Thanks.
Comrade Chair, we can't hear you.
Honorable Matuba.
Thank you. Collapse at the same time. Thank you.
Motion on a statement contest.
Honorable Matuba.
Mashiro collapsed.
Mashiro collapsed next thing. Chair, thank you very much. I think, Chair, as much as we are noting this report from the honorable member, however, one will still emphasize that we need to follow proper procedures of submitting what is before us to a relevant department. And maybe from there, I still maintain that we need to have time frames with regards to the implementation. I think, Chair, all of us are agreeing that we need to achieve the objective of Sustainable Development Goal 6 of ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. And my view is that, Chair, when you hear the presentation also, one could say that there is an agency that is needed in tackling water challenges in our country. And from the presentation also, Chair, I think I still agree with honorable members to say that we need to have an agent meeting with the relevant committee of portfolio committee on COGTA, because when you listen to the presentation, it also warrants us to look at how do we work closely with the relevant portfolio committee. There's an agency with regard to that, and it is not okay, and it is not proper for us to say that things are normal. That is why we are saying that we need to change where we can change. And it will be of important, Chair, to say that in this instance, when one analyzes the presentations, one can also see that the challenge is not of policy matter, but the challenge is of implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of what is taking place on the ground and what needs to be done. I think I will still maintain the statement to say that immediately, maybe us on our own as portfolio committee, other issues, we are reserving them to the portfolio committee. It will be very important that we have an agent meeting, an agent follow-up with regards to what is happening in the country in terms of water management and also sanitation. They go hand in hand, I agree. And if we are not addressing issues of water and sanitation in the country, it therefore says to us, we are far from achieving our goal of ensuring that everybody in South Africa have access to clean water, and everybody water is a right to all of us. Clean water is a right to all of us, I think. And also there are other issues, if one can look at them, that says that much still needs to be done with regards to how do we deal with the issue of water. It doesn't only affect us ordinary South Africans alone, but also there are girls in schools that needs to be provided. When you look at the hygiene, others will miss school because of certain things that are there. Others will miss to go to work, especially with us as women. I'm looking at this issue of saying that water is life for everybody, and when you have a challenge, it impacts on women more than any other thing. As the end users of this particular thing. And also to say to our municipalities, next time, Chair, I also agree that those who are role players, especially all of us, we need to have joint committees, whether it's even including the finances, even including the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation. We need at some stage to have a meeting of us bringing our heads together to check where can we facilitate and fast track what is before us. And now I'm saying that if we are not treating this matter with agency, Chair, re tlo feleletsa batho ba rona ba le mo mathateng because of non-agency or lack of agency from our part as lawmakers, from our part as implementers, especially those ones who are officials. And also this issue of skills, Chair, as and when we address this, we'll still talk about it. Thank you very much, Chair.
Honorable Tseke.
Thanks, Chairperson, and good morning to everyone in the platform, including the two deputy ministers. Chair, I think I'm largely covered by Honorable Miogo in saying that we must treat this matter as a matter of agency. Yes, we acknowledge that there are challenges, and since we take over as this portfolio committee, we raised too many challenges for the attention of the department. But I must say that yes, we have not done everything, but the department has been on course. That is, the department has been on the ground trying to deal with this matter. Chair, we know the challenges are there. We know our municipalities are not coming to the party. We know there are too many incomplete projects in many municipalities. We know that there are a shortage of technical skills in most of the municipalities, Chair. But let's not politic about this matter. Water is a human right matter. There are lives lost in this along the process. People are dying, Chairperson, because of this matter. So let's leave politics on the side and let's deal with the issues that are affecting our own communities. We want to appreciate your efforts, Honorable Sukers, and agree in terms of the process to say, where do we go? How are we going to unveil the whole process? I'm proposing that the way we have take the resolve or the way we have agreed in terms of how do we deal with or how do we address the Rustenburg petition, let's then take this road of saying the department must be able to The Department of Water and Sanitation and the Department of COGTA must be able to come to the party. We must submit this, even the portfolio committee of COGTA, we must be able to involve them in making sure that we respond to these challenges. When you listen to them, there are also issues of corruption, alleged corruption in terms of the infrastructure within the Warrenton communities. I think, Honorable Sukers, it will be proper also that we will encourage communities also, and your good self, that let's involve the law enforcement agencies within government. I think there's SIU, there are too many cases that are before SIU. I think also we can also submit those cases if you think that there are elements of corruption within the projects that are within that constituency. So let's involve the SIU so that they can be able to address these issues. But Chair, generally, I want to agree that let's allow the department as soon as possible. Let's look at our program and invite the Department of Water and Sanitation and COGTA to respond to that. We're involving COGTA because there's MIG, there's Municipal Infrastructure Grant that is given to all these municipalities to implement projects of this kind. So I think it's important, and generally municipalities are accountable to COGTA. So it is important that we involve COGTA in terms of accountability. They must be able to account to the communities of both Warrenton and Rustenburg. So as a matter of agency, Chair, let's prioritize these issues. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks very much, Mrs. Sukers. I think we really do need to give thanks to this well-written petition. I think it is important that the petitions should be respected and be listened to. Without necessarily wanting to dwell much on the political side of the petition, we must deal with the petition as it is raised by society and communities. I do know, Honorable Matala, at some point you phoned me whilst in Warrenton. I accept that point. But what is not necessarily correct is for you to declare that the Department of Water and Sanitation must be declared a crisis mode. You started with us in 2019. You know where we were. You can't stand today and say we are still there where we were in 2019 around the status of the Department of Water and Sanitation and the status today. So that view that we must declare ourselves a disaster is not a correct view. And I think you also know that you have played a very important role since 2019 to date to bring the department where we are. So now for you to just rubbish the good work you did in fighting that the department stand up and do work to the point where it is today, and then you say that is it must be declared disastrous, I think you are just underscoring your big effort that you brought about. Honorable Hanif, I think South Africa is a democratic country with three spheres of government as the underpinning work of doing governance. Can you imagine if you want a minister or a department of water and sanitation be given the responsibility to run? I'm sure there is some of us, I'm sure it is very few people knows where Pet Sondervater is in Warrenton. It's very far. It's very far from far. So you really need to have people who is nearer the problem. Therefore, local government must not be undermined because it is the cold face of government. You need people that shall always be there. Even this issue of the metros are too far from the people. You need people to be nearer the situation where decisions can be taken as soon as possible, where response can be given as soon as possible by government nearer the people. Now, if you take the governance of the people far away from personal, from Kangal Zekut Zekwin, Guyana, and so forth, only to be in Cape Town, you are no longer wanting government of the people, by the people, for the people, and to the people. Because that can only be done if the people themselves get to be involved in their decision making. And so the issue that you want to take away authorities and power of local government and put it into national government, you are just taking government away from the people. And I think it should not be promoted, because you are going to have to subject our people for not to talk to their government on a daily basis, because you have to travel. Like the olden days where for you to talk to the Queen, you must fly to Britain to talk to them. It is not correct. Local government must always be there. It is the cold face of people. It must just be regulated and be empowered. And we put proper people, councillors who have got responsibilities and know-how. The problem that we can't run away from is that our councillors that we put in local government, most of them are the least capable, are the least experienced, are the least knowledgeable. And we were wrong in that approach, because in actual fact, we need the most effective people to be in local government, because that's where the problems are. That's where government starts. And I think we need to deal with that. Therefore, Honorable Hanif, unfortunately, I cannot agree with you that we must pass a law that takes away responsibilities and duties of local government in order for it to be given to national government, because that will be working against the rights of government to the people, of the people, by the people, and to the people. It can't be correct. However, in just talking to the petition itself, the petitioners are very constructive in their approach. Finally, if you look at the end of the document, there are questions that they are posing to us. And I think we must answer those questions, Deputy Minister Mashobo, Deputy Minister Chabalala, and ourselves. Those questions as raised by the petitioners in the questions by the petitioners must be answered. It must be answered in a manner that it explains that which they are asking as questions, and it be sent to them. And sending to them, it means we need to talk to them directly in answering those questions. But finally, there is a recommendation they are making. They are making a recommendation there that, having answered these questions, there is a need of an oversight visit by both COCTA and the Department of Water and Sanitation to go and look at the accountability part of the municipality, whether indeed they are responding responsively in the issues that has been raised in the questions by the department. It is therefore a correct view by Honorable Seke that let's follow that process of us taking this petition to both the Department of COCTA and the Department of Water and Sanitation, and for them to answer us. In answering us, we must then call back the petitioners, give them responses, but remember, it must have answered the questions as raised by the communities. And finally, we must have to visit Warrenton to go and see for ourselves that which the department will be giving us answers, and that which the petitioners are wanting us to respond to. And unfortunately, Honorable Hanif, I can't serve you. I can't give you a proper question that the response that you want me to give to you of taking away the responsibilities of municipalities to national government, because it is against the tide of responsive government. Government must always be nearer the people, and the people must always be in a position to access their government speedily. Mr. Sukers, I think we must take pride of your petition, well written. We shall hand it over to the Department of Water and Sanitation, who is also going to send it to the Department of COCTA, and we will respond to you immediately. We have got the response from the department, And of course, your recommendation that we must have oversight visit to Warrenton to go and see what is happening, that is heard and it is accepted. And depending on the speedily, and as Honorable Matuba have said, with a time frame that is workable, we will come back to you before the end of this term of office, because we are supposed to be responsive to yourself. I see the hand of Putas that is coming. Honorable Putas. Honorable Tseki, I think.
Chair, I think let me accept your summary, because I expected the department to speak more than us, but I think maybe next time they will lead us. Thank you.
No, remember that the department is not necessarily invited to come and speak. They are here to listen. It is us who are supposed to get the petition and then send it to the department. So they will talk more when we meet with them. But today they are not here to talk, they are just listening. We must expect them to talk more when they are going to give responses after receiving these petitions. But by the way, that's fine, it is acceptable. Yes, Mutala?
Yes, I propose that when we speak to COGTA, let's also give them a date, maybe, if possible. When can we meet? Because if we don't give them a date, we won't solve this issue. Let us fast track this issue and resolve it as soon as possible. Within, as they've said already, water is life, sanitation is dignity. We cannot delay this any longer. So let's come with a date and suggest maybe in 2 weeks' time, the meeting must cease between us and COGTA, the Department of Water and Sanitation. And the COGTA department will appreciate that, Chairperson.
In principle, agreed. Remember, Honorable Matua did emphasize the point of having a time frame. This presentation by the petitioners must be sent to the department as soon as to end of business today or tomorrow, and then we will have to talk to them as to their turnaround time of responses. Surely we do not expect them to can take more than 14 days to read and respond in the commitment format. Whether the water will be available by that or not is another story. But we really need to get their commitment, their appreciation of the problem, and what is it that is there as a plan to address these issues. And that can be done within 14 days in terms of the responses. And of course, if there's a difficulty, they will come back to us. But the petitions must be sent to them either by end of business today or the end of business tomorrow. And then thereon, 14 days to get the responses and the commitment will suffice.
And the other thing, Chairperson, I was not done. The issue of oversight, I think in our program earlier this year, we agreed that we're going to visit the Free State oversight, and then we do also the Northern Cape. But the Northern Cape, it is not in the program. So I don't know if it's possible again to fast track this thing of Northern Cape. There's a very serious disaster in Northern Cape. It needs our attention. We must go there and check what is happening. Come back and push the department to do its work. So I suggest that we also fast track the oversight to Northern Cape. Thank you.
No, Mr.
It was there on the timetable. We were supposed to go initially during August. It did not happen. Now we are in October.
Mhlala,
now we are
is
October,
there,
September.
Mhlala, the visit to Northern Cape is in the pipeline. Remember, you proposed this point in that quarter. We said it will fall into this particular quarter, and indeed it will. But remember, it is not about this one. It is about the issue of the BEP, the Bucket Eradication Program. It is in the Bucket Eradication Program that process is coming. We are going back. We will be going to Northern Cape for bucket eradication program of about 500 bucket systems that are still awaiting Northern Cape. We are going there for that particular purpose. Yes, we are not going to close our eyes on seeing on other things, but that visit is not for this one. So this one is a standalone one. It will. Okay. Yeah.
To save the government money, we can just do everything. There's no need for us.
No. Don't create a program out of when the program does not talk that way.
No, but we're a portfolio. We're speaking amongst ourselves. We're suggesting. We're proposing. Let's change the money and let it be for everything.
By reaction. Mdlala, you don't create a program by reacting to situations. You plan. You plan. Thank you very much, Honorable Mrs. Sukers. Do you have a parting word to say?
Yes, Chair. To you and to the committee, I just, on behalf of the community of Warrenton, want to say thank you. And I want to urge our members here on the platform. I know we are all from similar generations. There's not much of a gap between us, I think. But we have a responsibility in terms of our restoring the trust of our people. It is not political. It is the right type of politics that we need to apply here. Most importantly, a forensic audit, Chair, is what the people of Warrenton wants on the money spent since 2018 in terms of water and sanitation projects in their community. Thank you very much, members, and thank you, Chair.
So thank you very much. I think the department will be made to be aware, because in the write-up you did indicate that
you can release us, Chair.
Why we release a magmenesis to mandate?
Ngizwile phela wathi umqwathi ungangenzi idom Chair, ngizwile uthi ufunani.
Okay. No, that's fine. If you might leave. Yeah, Miss Sukers, I think we hear you. I'm sure the minister is also heard, even if he's leaving. I'm sure you are talking about the amounts you spoke about, the 90 million, 94 million, 22.8 million, and the 18 million rand as budgeted in the process. You have written it very clear there. That if indeed that money cannot be accounted for, because we can't rush to the investigation when in actual fact the money can be accounted for. Can we get accounting? If not, then the process must follow. The investigation must be mounted, and consequence management must be mounted. We agree with you. Thank you very much, petitioners, people of Warrenton. On Summit Yellow. Thank you very much. Nasipo, the second item. Yeah.
Adoption of minutes, Chairperson, of the first one, 13th.
Chair, release us.
You have been released, Honorable Mashawa. You have been released.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Shabalala. You are released. There are only departmental matters. They are released. You have a minute, Nosipo?
Yes, Thailand is going to flag them, Chairperson, on his side. Chairperson?
Yes.
Here are the minutes of the 13th June 2023. Can you hear me?
Yes. The minutes of the
yes,
the 13th of June held at the S35 NCOP building Parliament. On but this is not moving. Why is it? Why is it that? Into my movie. Okay. Page 1.
Ms. Matuba's hand is up.
What is the end about, Mrs. Matuba?
Thank you very much, Chair. When you look at page 1 of the minutes, it says when you look at attendance by committee members. Chair, I didn't know what is the relevant time to raise this matter. However, I must raise it on the same page that talks to attendance. Chair, in terms of the minutes, it's true that I was absent. However, I want this committee to note that I was not absent deliberately. I did not get the invitation nor login details for this particular type of meeting. I want us to note that, Chair. Thank you.
Why was that? Why was that?
Chair, I did not receive any documentation. I'm using 2 gadgets. The other one is not working. The other one is working. That is what I've raised with my whip, Comrade Sike, last week, that it was not deliberate that I undermine the portfolio committee and yourself, Chair. It's a matter of me not getting any notification with regards to what has transpired the previous week on the portfolio committee meeting. I just saw the portfolio committee meeting when I was using my social media network, which is the YouTube. That's when I realized that there was a meeting of a portfolio committee, Chair. My apologies.
Chairperson?
No, leave it. Don't get into the politics of politicians. The fact that she was absent, the fact that she is absent, as to whether her phones did not work, you must not take responsibility of her phone not working. No,
I'm not going to respond to that, Chairperson, but I was going to explain, but it's not the flighted minutes. She's referring to the next minutes of the 29th of August. That is all I wanted to say.
Okay, that's fine. It's irrespective. I'm not sure whether in this minutes. No, yes, the one that Ms. Matuba, the minutes we are talking about, you have sent an apology. There is an apology of you on the 13th of June. Can you see that?
Yes, Chair, my apologies. I had thought that it was minutes of the 29th August 2023. My apologies also in terms of that. But I've made my point. I've raised my point. The response
you can't raise your point on the minutes that are long. So your points are not noted here.
Okay.
It will be noted there. Yeah.
No, they are not here, Chair. I agree with you.
Okay, page 2, Nosipo. Introductions on page 2. Page 3. And page 4. Page 5. Honorable Mshala, you will realize that issue of the BEP in Northern Cape is in these minutes that you are still going to be going there. So it is not forgotten. Page 6. The meeting was then adjourned at 13:10. Any mover of the minutes and seconder of the minutes? I don't know what is happening. What should we call this now?
Chair.
Yes.
Chairperson.
I see the hand of my Member Tuba.
Mr. is
not my apologies. Legacy hand.
Yeah, I moved
okay.
Yes,
Oh, by the way, Honorable Seke said you have got difficulty in raising your hand.
Yeah, I have got difficulty today, Chair. I was part
Okay.
of this meeting. I move that we accept the minutes as a true reflection of what transpired in that meeting. Thanks.
Honorable Peterson.
Chairperson, I support the removal of the adoption of the minutes.
Honorable Mkala, who are you speaking to when you are in the meeting?
Next minute's talent.
You know, you're now starting. I'm just unmuting myself now. You don't do that with me.
I can
Speak
hear the
to
background, Honorable Mkala.
No, but check the gadget. Who's speaking? My mic is muted. It's off.
But your petty voice,
And
I
I'm
can
just
hear.
alone where I am. So what
I can hear your petty voice.
am I speaking to?
It's
Your gadget, it will tell you who are speaking. No, check your people, your NC people. They are the ones that are making noise here.
Buena. No, not NC people, it's you. Okay, the second minute of the 29th of August. We heard what Ms. Matuba said, but okay. She's raising the point that absent must be qualified. It doesn't matter. The fact that you are absent, Mamacho. Absent can't be explained. It is because you were not in a meeting. Page 2.
Chair,
Yeah.
my name is wrongly spelled there.
Oh, it says Mutuba.
Yes, Chair.
Is Matuba.
Will be corrected.
Okay. She's saying you must tell the people that actual Matuba was absent, not Mutuba. Is that what you're saying, Matuba?
Yes, Chair. But with qualification, of course, Chair.
Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. And page 6. We're now on 7. With the meeting adjourning at 5 minutes past 11. Okay. There are the minutes. Can I have a mover and a seconder of the minutes or any amendment if there is any?
Okay, I move that we accept the minutes.
Honorable Tseke moves.
Support, Chair.
Honorable Tseke seconds. Thank you very much. The minutes is duly seconded. The next item, Nosipo.
It's your closing remarks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. We should be rushing to the sitting. Those of us who are going to the sitting, we hope that Nosipo, the two petitions get it processed into the parliamentary structures, and that we get the responses and revert back to the petitioners as they did, and also we must have spoken to the Department of Coxter in the process of getting these particular processes. With that in mind, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chair.
Sis Nancy, are you here? I haven't heard your voice.
I tried, but I was in the meeting, Chair. Thank you. Up and about, I was in the airport, but I was in the meeting, Chairperson. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks very much. The meeting is adjourned.